Imagine Googling a show and you see a Reddit conversation is possibly one of the best animes ever. Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboy Bebop. So, introduction. My first introduction to it, I was walking through the park, had a random conversation with a guy, he mentioned it, and of course with a name like that, you don't ever really forget it. But fast forward a couple years later, I see a meme. I'm like, I don't know where it's from, but I just see a meme and I'm like, ah. And then fast forward a couple weeks later, I see the meme and other memes. They all come and then I look at the description. I'm like, oh, it's Cowboy Bebop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to see this a while, and it's popping up in conversation and stuff. So let me just go ahead and check it out for the first time. So I had a couple issues because it kept saying that the first episode was called Asteroids Blue, and then Pirates of the Caribbean. The way I was looking at the stuff, it kept saying the Straight Off Strut. So when I actually looked at that, I was like, okay, I'm actually watching the correct first episode. It was just name wronged. So that was the thing. But it came out, it says in 1998. And I'm just gonna say, right now, I just watched episode 1. I'm a little confused. I like it, but I don't know where it's going to go happen and where it's gonna go from here. I don't know what's about to happen from here. Now, just a couple things here. I didn't write down too much. Just like the first episode starts off very like smoky, hazy. So it's a lot of, you know what I'm saying, bang, bang, did that third, right? Bing, bang, bop, boom. And if I say that, I'm talking about Goodfellas. You think I'm funny? You think I'm here to entertain you? Tell me how I'm funny. How? Funny how? If I say bing, bang, bop, boom, I'm talking about Goodfellas. I'm not talking about that Kendrick Lamar song, all right? So it's a lot of bing, bang, bop, boom, bop, right? And let me just see. I wrote down a couple of things here. So it starts off, guy in the rain. He drops it. He drops a rose, and then the rose turns color, and he has like these flashbacks of a shootout or something like that. That's how it kind of starts off. Then the one thing, now it could be on how I'm watching it, but the audio is something that kind of gets to you, or like it really sticks out to you in comparison to like the normal what you listen to or whatever, right? Let me see. Like I want to watch episode 1, but the little theme music for it kind of comes across as if you like imagine hearing the Incredibles, right? But it's almost like hearing the Incredibles music, but it sounds like real music. And I know that's gonna sound a little bit, but if you ever go watch it, it's like you can hear the trumpets and you can hear the drums, and it really sounds like as if there's like a live band that was playing the music and stuff like that. And so like even when they had like some cars that pulled up, like the audio that they were trying to use and get, that's one thing. Another thing with this is, again, it's in 1998, so playing with certain like types of animation, one thing that's cool about it is you can kind of like, if you study any type of art and animation, you can kind of say like, oh, this is what they kind of do to pull off certain effects or whatever. But it's also, what's the other thing about it's, I don't know, let me see. So how does it kind of start off? Like they're hunters, right? There's a bounty. They got the hunters or whatever, right? So it's like, we gotta go get this guy or whatever. And you would think that the dude ain't really paying attention. He really care. He's not really trying. He's not pressed about going to go get this next target or whatever. He's not pressed about it. It's two guys on the spaceship. Now, one thing about the setting though is they have spaceships and they travel around spaceships, but like the world Earth like still exists type of thing. So it's just like, it's supposed to be like, it's futuristic in a sense, but at the same time, a lot of like nothing's like really clean in a sense. You know what I'm trying to say? Like nothing looks like as if it's in pristine condition. A lot of things look like they're beat up and kind of old, but yet this is like futuristic. So like they ride around in spaceships, but everything just looks kind of, it's here, you know what I'm saying, but it ain't like up to date type of thing. Let's see. Okay, so like the first little John up, like, whoa, okay, what's going on, right? First scene that's like, okay, what's going on? Two guys walking to a bar. Nah, but it is like is a guys playing some cards at the, the bar and whatnot. the guy walks in and you see the lady and she kind of like, she looks like she's, preggers. You know what I'm saying? So he gets in there, he asks for a beer, and the lady asks for a Bloody Mary, and he was like, we out of tomato juice. And he says, well, I'm sure you got some in the back. He flicks a little joint. So they go, well, let me know if this the real stuff. Now, this was one of the, and so like, whatever he sprays in his, they call it a bloody eye. Whatever he sprays and whatnot, dude's like, I need a demonstration. Let me know if this is the real thing, whatever. He sprays it. That little part, almost on some wanted and bending, whatchamacallits, it was, what type of effect, what's going on with this, right? Because now mind you, I didn't really pay attention, like, to notice, like, that was him, but then, like, immediately after this, like, people come up, car pull up, and but nobody is touching this man. You know what I'm saying? This is after he with the bloody eye. So that was the first, like, whoa, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? That was cool. So there's a shootout, and then the boy who was actually supposed to be going to kind of go look for him, so he kind of goes sees this little magi sage, you know what I'm saying, whatever, blowing with the, the sand and the dust. And so he was like, Red Coyote is going to be on the far side of town by noon, something like that. And then he said some other little thing about a woman, whatchamacallit. He's like, whatever, anyway. Then that dude, I don't even know, I'm trying to figure out their names here. Dang, I don't even know their names. We're going to call him Cowboy, because the one girl's like, adios, Cowboy. We're going to call him Cowboy, because he was like, I'm a cowboy. The other guy, so it's two guys on the ship. So they got they got this big ship, and that's called Bebop. This big ship is called Bebop, and like, I guess like the pilot is his, and like the person who's like in charge of like, okay, this is the target, this is what we got to do, and helping to do all this other stuff, like the brains behind the jank. His name, well, the ship name is Bebop. The one who runs that ship or whatever is Jet, and then the other one who would be considered, I guess, like almost, Hunter, is the one who actually going out there and in the streets, and it's on the third, the young boy. We just call him Cowboy. You know what I'm saying? So, Cowboy is on his other little red. He's on his little red spaceship, and he's like, oh, I guess you need some gas. So he stops, goes to use the bathroom, and when he goes to use the bathroom, he actually runs into the guy that they looking for, and who done with the eyes and whatnot. So I didn't realize when the guy popped up at the bar initially, I didn't realize that was him that they're looking for. But when they're at the bathroom, it's like, that's who they're looking for, right? And so he comes out the bathroom, he's like, yeah, man, something about leaving the water running just so it's easier or something like that. And he walks out the bathroom. And so, because the guy was originally like, what do I do? But he doesn't give it an instance like, oh, I know it's you and I'm looking for you type of thing. No. So Cowboy goes back outside. Now the person that they were looking for, his name is Asimov or something like that. And he's walking around with a shorty. Now his shorty, she looked preggers, you know what I'm saying? But Cowboy is outside talking to her. They just chatting it up and this, that, and the third. And then she was like, yeah, she's trying to go to Mars. And he was like, oh yeah, you trying to go to Mars? That's cool, I said, I'm from Mars and this and that. So she was like, yeah, we're going to Mars. And he was like, oh, you trying to escape to Mars? And so she was like, you're a hunter and this and the third. He's like, I'm a cowboy, you know what I'm saying? So but then he's like, your boyfriend, that's a small fry, I ain't worried about him. Dude, Asimov comes back and chokes him out, right? From like, he comes up behind him, sneaks him, start choking him out. But she's like, let him go, this and third, and they hop in the spaceship and go. But and then like, that's a conversation on the way back. He's like, why you tell me to stop? If I ain't know, but I think you got feelings for the young boy or something like that. I might have thought you liked the young, like, I could have unalived into that right then and there, right? So that happens, and then Jet comes, and Jet's telling him like, yeah, man, the boy he left Syndicate. I don't know what a Syndicate is right now, but he left his Syndicate and he done whatchamacallit. And so now that's why everybody looking for him. But every time if you go to any place that he's been at, bodies. him, her, bodies. They're all the. I did a terrible. What you want? Don't mind that. Anyway, so the other thing was, so they let him go or whatever. But so then Cowboy was like, yeah, I met him. And he was like, so one thing, when the dude choked out Cowboy, she's like, let him go. Cowboy is like a thief. Like, he really, like, because when he bumped into her when he was coming out the bathroom, he took some of her food because he was hungry. So he'd be hungry. That's just one of his things. Like, he'd be hungry. He want to eat. You know what I'm saying? So when the boy let him go, though, he, like, slipped his hand and he grabbed the whatchamacallit out of his pocket. He grabbed the bloody eye out of his pocket. So then from there, what do you do from there? So when Jet comes, he's like, you met him? You saw him? He's like, yeah. And they got to sell this. You know what I'm saying? This and the third. So then there comes another part. They get to the other side of town. And then the dude, it goes like, you got a Bloody Mary? I only got beer. And he was like, well, I got tomato juice. And then so like that. So in the beginning when he first walked into the joint, I think I mentioned it. When he first walked in, he was like, let me get a beer. The girl said, let me get a Bloody Mary. And the guy was like, I got the vodka, but I ain't got no tomato juice. So then this time is a similar whatchamacallit. So like that's the jargon for it or whatever, for this, these transactions and, the street pharmacist. He was like, he said, you got a Bloody Mary? He's like, I only got beer. He's like, well, I got tomato juice or something like that. Yeah, he's like, you got any Bloody Marys? No, I only got beer. Well, I got tomato juice. And so he's like, how much? And this and the third, boom, boom. So, but then he's wearing the disguise. Cowboy is actually wearing the disguise. And so he gets up and says, oh, you surprised to see me? And he's like, you look terrible in that thing. And then, so they have like a little skirmish. Now, one of the things about like this fight here was the fact that, and this is something where you can sit there and maybe kind of sort of not appreciate it, of how there are a lot of fights. When you see a lot of fights in anime, well, for however much anime you watch, like there is this, the speed and trying to have move things really fast. But this one is more so like it's like it's besides the with the whatchamacallit, it was more so of giving like this realistic feel of like throwing over a table, throwing punches and kicks and stuff like that, and it's sluggish within that. So I kind of appreciated that first little scene a little bit. I'm not sure how to really critique the art style because like again, it's 2025 and that came out over 25 years ago. So, but what I will say though is that, and this is one of those like they don't make them like that anymore. So, what I accidentally did was watch a different episode, and I'm like, and it was showing some things. And I'm like, yeah, and like I don't even know how to explain that, but it's what. But even like, what is there? Okay, so for instance, like an American Gangster, you know what I'm saying? The things that you're seeing in American Gangster. In 2025, some of those things you're just not going to see. You know what I'm saying? You're just not going to see it, and just things are just so watered down and saturated. So the fact that this had cigarettes, cigar pipes, and it was very like there was a lot of like smoking is a thing in there, and like it's kind of raw in that sense. And I'm trying to figure out a way I can say here to say it, but like. The character, the characters are looking, you know what I'm saying? You got something to look at with the characters and whatnot. It's kind of sort of. But that was because I only saw a little bit of what was going on. And I was like, oh, this is about to get a little, I don't know. But none of that was happening really in this episode. But I did leave a little bit confused, though. So actually what ends up happening with this next little shootout or whatever, when Cowboy comes up and they had this little fight scene, now mind you, Cowboy's not the only one looking for him, right? So other people pull up, more, and the girl, now one of the little Joneses like you kind of see is like the girl that is with Asimov, that's the one that is the target that people are looking for in this episode. She on that Bonnie and Clyde type junk, you know what I'm saying? So you like, you rock with her because she just like she thorough. Like she in the shootouts, like she the one carrying. She aiming and getting, you know what I'm saying, getting people. You know what I'm saying? So she rocking with her the whole time, and then doing this whole little back end skirmish, comes across her belly, and then it's actually, yeah, like actually it was like she wasn't. That was all the stuff that they were trying to sell. So she was still holding it down. But then he called her an idiot when they were trying to get away. When mind you, she got scraped, and that's why all the stuff came out. And she was like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, idiot. And then it's like this is the last scenes is, you know, them trying to go off. She's like, oh, we're never gonna get to Mars now. And she's like, this is it. We ain't getting out of here. We're never getting to Mars. And it, so like one of the things, like with the music, there's music going on in the background, right? And then the music like stops. And so she takes him out. And then mind you, Cowboy is following them. And then so he goes and he's like over top of his spaceship, and then he looks and she looks at him, and then it was like the whole whatchamacallit. I think she took herself out, and then the whole ship got whatever. I don't know. I guess both of them just gone. And then it ends the episode the way it started the episode. It was like, food ready. And what is it? Bell peppers with beef or in beef. Now in the beginning of the episode, they ain't had no, it was just bell peppers, no beef. And so maybe he had something like that. I don't know. I'm actually kind of confused now. Are we just supposed to let go those two characters, those targets that they're looking for, just let them go, or we got a new target on next episode? I guess we'll find out on episode 2.